Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Creations. I'm Amber. So today I have my very special prayer or faith journal right here that I've made. I got it out in an old book. It's the biggest one I've made. This little beauty has 3 signatures. I have a butterfly, purple butterfly eyelet. I have attached my best friend's keychain that she gave to me many years ago, and yeah, it's just so beautiful. I love it. I did use some of this fabric here from Joann's. It was one of those quarter things. It just fit on here perfectly. And so this journal is going to be my very special one. It's something I've never done, written in or anything, but it's going to be my writing journal to write down all of my thoughts, my Bible studying, my praise and prayer reports, that kind of thing. So here on the inside, I have a combination of scrapbooking papers, digital papers, and papers that I've created, which I guess are still kind of digital papers, right? Right here in the front, I have paper clipped on here, a cute little embellishment or cluster. On the back, I've hot glued on there a little ribbon that I've made. This is a card that I've made for myself. It says, "Believe with all that I am." And on the inside of here, I wrote what this journal was going to be used for. I did a nice fabric here on the side. It has coffee and sweets, and it's totally me. So I decided to glue that on the front, and it's super soft. I almost wish I used this fabric on the outside and the hearts on the inside, but the next journal, I have more of this. I'm going to do that. And then I did some ribbon here on the side. I glued it down. I think I'm going to have to glue a little bit more because it's too narrow to hold my big old card in there. But anyways, so this here is the Prima paper. I have 3 signatures. All 3 signatures start with my Prima paper, and it goes from there. So here's the first page. Oops. There's the back of that. It's so pretty. I took apart another journal that I had with scriptures on there. I specifically chose special scriptures. This one is one of my very favorites, John 3:16. And these are double-sided. It's very, very thin, but I'm going to write on there, and hopefully it won't bleed through, right? We're hoping. This is a coffee page to go along with that coffee and snack breakfast Danish thing. On the back of that scrapbooking paper, I threw it through my printer and I made this page. It says, "Every flower must grow through dirt" by Lori Jean Sennett. This is my coffee dyed paper that I've made. So all of my journaling pages and my coffee dyed papers, I have rounded the corners, just the slightest bit to make it a little bit more interesting while we go through our journal. This here is just some lined paper that I added a teapot and a teacup. I really enjoy tea, and I just think that's a nice way to to inspire you to want to write on that paper. This one here I designed as well. I used these pretty blue flowers, and I added the butterflies to the background with a nice frame. This is a different journal that I took apart. This one was the list journal, and so some of the pages have beautiful images, and other ones are both double-sided. This is one of my favorite papers that I made in my journaling thing, and I just love the lines in the background, and then I put my own Proverbs 18:10 quote on the bottom. On the back of that, I've got more of that coffee. Here is another Prima paper. This one I don't really care for, so this one probably is going to get used to be on a collage, or I will take a coffee dyed paper or maybe another one of these journaling pages like this and cut it down and glue it on there and write on it. And then on the other side, I decided to have a pocket. So this journal doesn't have a whole lot of pockets or tucks at this point, but it might. I just wanted to set it up for a writing journal. I've created the little dip there, inked around the edges. I also did a little bit of mixed media here. I have some glitter acrylic paint only on one butterfly. I didn't want to do them all. I didn't want it to be boom in your face, but I did want to add a little touch. You know, it's easy enough to go back and do the rest if you really wanted to. So this is my first time ever tea dyeing. This is actually instant tea, and I love it. It's so much of a different color than the coffee dye. Coffee seems to be more yellowy brown, and this tea paper is more of a reddish, almost a pink. And here is a beautiful envelope that I've made for the center of my signature. I wanted to have the first and the third signatures are with a hidden envelope like this. Back to my tea dye, and then that pretty Prima paper. This big butterfly right here has some of that glitter on there. Again, with that page, we're probably going to do some collaging, right? More coffee up here in the corner with the coffee cup. Really grungy looking. I actually designed that one as well. Here's the back of that pretty paper. It says "Perfectly Imperfect." another journaling page from that book. I specifically chose this one because my birthday's the 17th and I wanted to include that in here. This is another page that I made. I stuck a postcard on there just so it wasn't just that flat background. I think it's more interesting to write on. Plus you could journal up here and then have something different here and then continue down here if you wanted. And then this one here is Hope in My Soul with some pretty butterflies. It is purple. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's a light purple. More coffee dyed paper. And here I have Dream Big, Pray Bigger with a really pretty flower frame around there that I made. On the back of my coffee paper, back to the journal out of the book that I made. So this is the end of the first signature. The end of it has a flip out. Beautiful, beautiful. And we go into our second signature here with that pretty Prima paper. This is from the Tales of You and Me. The three first pages of the signature is from there. I did a little tiny flip here. This all is glittery. I may end up gluing that all down, but left it open just to give myself some options. God is Good Because, little journaling prompt there to write about. Then here I've got this background and another tea-dyed paper here. This one's a little bit more grungy, but I still really like the feel of it. Here's my lavender collection from that Prima paper. This is one of my very favorite pages. I just love it. I just love purple, and so yeah, it's really nice to have in here. I did ink around the edges on this one, and I think that adds just a little bit more of a special touch. Here's that journaling page again. This one is books. I wanted to incorporate all the things that I love in this journal. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of things. And so I really enjoy reading. So I wanted a page with books. I added some sunflowers in the corner. There's my coffee beans. Here's a coloring page. It was actually a scrapbook paper that I cut down to size that I put in here. I thought that would be really fun, and to make the middle signature different than the other two. It only has it in this one side. Again, cut it down. I threw it through the printer. I did just a regular coffee stained paper on the back. Another list journal. My coffee dyed paper. This happened from my pan, that grid look. I was really happy with that. This page here, it says Bloom with Grace, again with that purple. And on the back of it, this is the actual scrapbook page. It says Good Morning with the coffee beans. I will probably add some little bits to the ends of these. I just haven't found what I wanted to yet. I have lots of charms, so we'll think on that. Back to that pretty purple with these little frames in the corner. It's just so much fun. I have just as much fun designing the papers and picking them out and deciding the order as I do making it. So everything, I just enjoy all of this, the whole process. I would say the most stressful part for me is probably binding it, because I feel like it's going to be crooked or I'm not going to get it tight enough, which this has got a little bit of wiggle room, but not bad. So then we have another journaling page here. This is that Prima paper. Gorgeous. And look how nice it looks next to that tea-dyed paper. I love it. So I'll do some stamping in here. I'm so excited to use some of my stamps. There's one that says Postcard, Lemons, and then the back of the Prima paper here. So that's the end of the second signature. We're getting to the very end of the journal. There's lots and lots of pages in here. I forgot to count. But yeah, so there's that Prima paper. More of that same coffee dyed paper you saw from the first signature. Here on the lemons, I've added that gold glitter. So, or not gold glitter, I'm sorry, the acrylic glitter paint. And more from that list journal, list 28. This one says, list the projects you have been meaning to work on and then finish them. So that's kind of a journal to make you go and do things. This one I coffee dyed. I added a little bit of blue just to tie in with this one over here. I love this paper. This is my favorite page, I think, in the last signature that I made. On the back of that, I gave myself a prompt for thankful. My Prima lavender paper. I tried to use it up. I've been saving this collection for such a long time. And I'm done saving. I'm ready to use. I'm ready to use, guys. So here, this was gifted to me in Happy Mail. Again, a long time ago, probably 2 years ago, and I'm going to use it. I cut it down. I love it. Butterflies and the teal. I did coffee dye it just so the back wasn't stark white. I still feel strongly that white doesn't belong in my junk journal, but I'm working on it. Go back to our journaling page here. Here's another page that I made on the computer and printed out. Then we have the most bold page ever, and it was a little bit more purple than I liked it to be, but I think it goes well with this brown clock with these pretty purple flowers. I wrote Faith on there. Yeah, so I used a clock on the inside of that as well. That's the center signature. I'm almost wishing now that if I ever do it again, which of course I'm going to, but I'm going to do it so there's another flip out this way. I just love this paper. It's like one of my favorites. I'm kind of sad it's an envelope, but it's easy enough to reprint. Then we have the word beautiful to write on, more of that journaling notebook, and my tea-dyed paper. Back to my Prima. I did leave this as a pocket. It's the same on the other side. I might glue that down, but I only have a couple pockets in here, so I decided to make them out of the Prima because they're really thick, and it'll give it the strength it needs to hold whatever I decide to put in there. Memories, the back of that pretty, pretty purple paper. Coffee dyed. I love the crunchiness of it. So cool. Here's that list paper. Not all of those are white. This one is actually a peachy orange color. And on the back of that, I've got list 32, my lemon. I love lemons. They make me happy. And then here I've got another journaling space. And then this one, I'm not sure. I don't really think I could write on it. Maybe over in here where it's a lot lighter. But this one might be an image where I glue down a couple of photos. Here's another paper clip that I've made, as well as a little embellishment. And on the back, I've got a cute little ribbon. I've noticed that some of these, yeah, see, it just falls apart when you cut burlap. I don't know how to make it not do that. I tried singeing the edges. That didn't go so well. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Or I did it wrong, maybe. So this is a paper clip because this is a flip out both ways, and it's the end of the journal. I'm almost wishing I didn't do that for the last page, but I wanted the last page to be special, but it's kind of irritating because it keeps catching. But anyways, here's the coffee cup on the back with beans, so my sweets go through. I love this butterfly paper, and it opens this way. This is the edge of the actual page of that Prima paper here. I did some light images in the background just to write on it, and then it flips out this way as well. It just continues on, and that's the back of the Prima paper. So this is my journal. I hope you enjoyed looking at it. I don't know if I will do another flip through once I've written in here. I feel like that might be more of a private journal, but I hope it inspires you to make a journal that you absolutely love with all of your favorite papers that you've been saving and wishing that you could use. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.